Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. In this video I'm gonna show you how you can create a custom circular view while you're loading an image from the internet, and then we're gonna have an awesome animation to show it in a circular way. I have a preview that I'm gonna show you right here what I'm talking about. So right now we're downloading an image and you can see the circular view is our loading view. And after this is done, you will see the image revealing in a circular way. So the circle expands itself and reveals the image. So now the image gets downloaded, and this is what I'm talking about. And it's very simple to do. So let's jump into Xcode and see how this is actually done. So we're going to create a new project, and it's going to be a single view application, and call it whatever you want. I'm going to call it circular view, loading view, yeah, and call next. Now for this one we will need first to install Alamofire. The reason we want to install Alamofire is because it's easy to make HTTP requests and also give us a download progress, and it will tell us when the image is downloaded. So to do that you will need to have Cocoa Pods. If you don't know how to install Cocoa Pods, you can just Google it. It's pretty straightforward. And after you do that, you want to open terminal and go to your project folder. In mine is in documents, and cd circular loading view, and in here you want to say pod init. When you say pod init, this creates a pod file for you, so you can say open pod file, and this is our pod file. And in here we simply want to say pod space a single quote Alamofire, like this, and close single quote, and then we save this and quit, and we just say pod install on our terminal, and this installs Alamofire for us. Now we don't want to work on this project anymore, so we can close it, and you want to say ls in here, and you will see that it created an Xcode workspace for us. So you just say open circular loading view Xcode workspace, and this is where we're gonna work, because this is the project that contains our Alamofire. So what you want to do is to make Alamofire work, you just want to say Control B, and this will build it once, and it will make sure that Alamofire can be imported into our projects. And a second thing before we start coding, we want to go to our info.plist and add an app security transport, because we're going to be making requests to HTTP servers, and we want to allow the app security transport security. So you say press enter, and this will also create, if you press on the plus button, automatically allow arbitrary loads, and you want to say yes on those. Alright, so now we are ready to go and create our custom image view, which will contain our circular loading view. And for that we'll need two classes. One is going to be our custom image view, which I'm going to create a new file, a Cocoa Touch class, and I'm going to call this custom image view, and it's a subclass of a UI image view. And we click next, and we create that. Perfect. Now you can delete this code in here, and what you like to have in there is, so we'll go and create a function that will set the image once it's downloaded. So you can say function set image from a URL that you're gonna pass as a string if you want, or you can pass a URL, actually whatever you decide. And in this one we want to create a utility queue that we're gonna use for Alamofire download progress. So you just say let utility queue equals dispatch queue dot global with a QoS, and this QoS is our utility. Perfect. Now let's go and import a modifier in here, a modifier, and now we can use a modifier in our class. And we will say a modifier, autocompletion doesn't give anything for a modifier, but once you say dot, you will see autocompletion working. So you want to do a request with a URL convertible, which is our URL string, and you will say request with the URL that you're passing the parameter. Then you can say enter and you can press dot, and this dot refers still to a modifier, and you want to have the download progress, but you will have the download progress with a queue that we created. So you just select the download progress and say queue utility queue, and closure you can just press enter, which is gonna give a completion block with the progress of our image downloading, of our download image. Now that we have the progress, we can just print and say downloaded progress dot fraction completed, and it gives you a double. Perfect. And now we also want to have something that will say that the image got downloaded. So you say response data with a completion handler, and you press enter, and this will create a block again. And response, you're gonna call the parameter, and you will say if let data equals response dot result dot value, comma, let image equals a UI image from data, and that's the data that we created. And in here you want to say print image successfully downloaded. All right, so what will be happening in here, once our download progress starts, we will be increasing the progress bar value with the progress fraction completed provided by a modifier. And once the image is downloaded, we have two if statements in one line basically here. So if we have data, then use this data to create image, and if we have an image, that means that we successfully downloaded the image, and we're gonna present the image. And basically that is what our custom image view will contain for now. We're gonna come back to it later. So you can go to our main storyboard, and we can create this custom image view with this one. So let's go and put an image view here and expand it to the left and to the right. So let's go and give 0 to the left, 0 to the right, and an aspect ratio, add 3 constraints, and also center it vertically in the container. Now let's go and change the aspect ratio to be 16 to 9. I want it to be quite large, like this. All right. And you want to go to the identity inspector here, and where it says class, you want to say custom image view. This means that when we connect the outlet to our image view, we will be able to reference this set image function that we created. And you can call this image view like this and connect. All right. And in our view controller, we want to have in the viewDidLoad say image view dot set image from string. Now I have a link right here on my other computer. All right, I'm gonna be pasting it here. So let's run this and see if our console is gonna give us any values of the image getting downloaded. We're not gonna be able to see anything. Yeah, you can see right here in the console, but we're not seeing anything in the simulator because we have not wrote the code yet. And we can see that it has downloaded 65%, 70% right now, 75%, and once it goes to 100%, which will say 1, it will say image complete successfully downloaded. All right, so now let's go and write the circular loading view that we're gonna use. I'm gonna close this, and this is another class that we're gonna create, which is gonna be a subclass of a UI view, and I'm gonna call it circular loading view, and this is a subclass of UI view, and click next and create. All right, now we delete this code here. First things first, we need to create a shape layer and also our circle radius, how big we want our circle to be. So let's go and say let circle path layer, and this is a CA shape layer, and let circle radius with CG float of 20. So we want our circle to be 20 pixels big, and the circle path layer is gonna be the circular view that we're gonna have. All right, because it's a UI view, and when we call it, we want to have the initializers. So you can say override actually init, and this will override the init method, and you want to say super.init with the frame provided, and in here we want to say configure. We're gonna write in a bit the function that will configure our view, and also you want to say required init with coder, this one, and you want to say super.init with coder with the add decoder, and here we say configure as well. Now let's go and write this configure method. Well, this is a function configure, and simply we create our layer here. When we want it to have a color of the loading view, we want it to have line width, and what else? We want to have the whole view to be a white view, or you can put whatever color you want that will match your app. That our background view is going to be white to hide any image that is behind it. And also, because it's a circle and the fill color inside, we want it to be clear color. So whatever is the background color, that's what we want to see. So let's go and write all this. So circle path layer, and we also want the frame of it to be wherever the bounds of the view is. So wherever this circular loading view is, there is where the circle path layer is gonna be. So also we want circle path dot line width is gonna be 2 pixels. Circle path layer dot the fill color we said is gonna be a UI color of clear, and this has to be a CG color. Perfect. Circle path layer dot stroke color, which is gonna be the one that is gonna load, and I'm gonna put red for me, and you can put whatever color you like, and that's all. And then you say layer, which layer reference the circular loading view, dot add sublayer, and this is our circle path layer. And we also want the background color of the view to be dot white. Perfect. Now that we configured this, we can go and remove those. And this doesn't mean that we now have a circular view. No, we don't. We need to create that. So let's go and create the circle frame. So this is going to be a function that will give us the circle frame in a CG rect. So I'm going to call it circle frame, and this returns a CG rect. All right. And we want to say var circle frame equals a CG rect of floats 0, 0, and width we're gonna put 2 times of what our circle radius is that we created at the very top, and height the same, 2 times of circle radius, because this will give us a square, so we want to circle it so it will become a bit smaller. And we want to say the circle frame that we created here, origin x to be the circle frame, we want it to be exactly in the center, so we do circle path layer dot bounds dot mid x, and that is gonna be circle frame dot or actually mid x. All right, and the y, the same thing for the y, so circle frame dot origin dot y equals circle path layer dot bounds dot mid y right here, and circle frame dot mid y, and then we return this circle frame. Now this still doesn't give us the circle what we want, the circle path that we want. It still give us a square. So to give us a circle path, we will have to return a UI Bezier path, and UI Bezier path has the option to give us an oval. So you can say function circle path that returns a UI Bezier path, and this will simply return UI Bezier path of, you can see, initializer oval in rect, and the rect that we want to give is the circle frame function. So this will return right here CG rect, and that's what we want to give in here. And now we have this circle thing already done. Another thing that we want to handle is we want to keep the position and the path the same when the view changes rotates, so when it changes the size. So you simply will have to write this in the layout subviews. So layout subviews is a function that UI views have, and you say super.layout subviews, and when the subviews are layout, we want to also say that the circle path layer dot frame is gonna be where the view is, so bounds, and the circle path layer dot path is the circle path, circle path dot cg path. So we want to have whatever our path was. All right. Now this is our view. There's still something missing. It's missing the progress. Where do we store the progress? Well, for the progress, we're gonna have a computed variable. So we're gonna say var progress, and this is a CG float, which is gonna be a computed variable with getter and a setter. Simply the getter, we return the circle path layer dot stroke end, and the stroke end is the relative location at which to stop stroking the path, as you can see what Apple says. So that's what we return, and when we set it, we want to make sure that the value that it has, it's not over 1, so we don't want to have a bigger circle, and it's also not negative. So if new value that we're setting, the new value is bigger than 1, we just say circle path layer dot stroke end equals to 1. Else, if new value less than 0, we just put it to 0, stroke end equals 0. Else, we just put whatever a new value is. So stroke end equals to new value. Perfect. Now in our configure, we want to make sure that this is 0. So we say progress equals to 0. All right. So far, so good. The last function we want to write in our circular loading view is when the progress is 100%, we want to reveal the picture. And now is the most complex part, is writing the function to reveal the picture. So you simply gonna have a function here called function actually reveal, and like this. And what you want to do is you want to make sure that if the image has downloaded very fast and the the progress has not been set to 100, you want to put it to 100, which is also 1. So we're making sure that the progress is 1. And we also, because we're gonna expand the circle so much that it will reveal the picture that is behind it. We also that means that the white color of the background color that we had, we want to make it a clear color. So you say background color equals clear. And we also want to remove any animations going on. So remove animation for key, and the key is stroke end, because that's what we are animating. So if there's still any animations going on, we want to stop them. And we also want to remove the circle path layer from the super layer. Remove from super layer. And also the super view dot layer dot mask. Here is a mask going on. We're gonna put the circle path layer. All right. Now, when the progress goes to 100%, what you want to do, how are you gonna reveal the picture? Well, it's very simple. You will expand the circle in a certain path that will go to be as big as the image view that is, and also to reveal the one that is inside the circle, we will just increase the line width, and like this you will see the image getting revealed like outwards but also inwards by shrinking the circle. So to do that, we will have to determine where the center is. So let center equals a CG point of doubles, and this is the bounce of the view dot mid x, and here the bounce of the view mid y. So that is where our center is. Now we want to know how much we want the circle to expand. So we will have a variable called final radius, how much the radius is going to be top. And that's going to be a square root of the center dot x and center dot y. So you simply say center dot x times center dot x, and you want to have it in parentheses like this, plus center dot y times center dot y. All right, and we want to close this. All right, so that is our final radius, how much the circle will expand. And we also want to have insets. So radius inset equals the final radius minus the circle radius. That's very simple. And outer rect is what we need is how much we want to expand it as well. Where to stop basically. So let outer rect equals the circle frame dot inset by, and that is minus radius inset minus radius inset. And we want to follow a path. So toPath is the UI Bezier path, which will give us this oval thing again going on, and that is oval in the outer rect.cg path. Perfect. Then we want to store the current values of the line width and the path, and then put them in a CA transaction so they don't jump from their original values. So the way we do this is we want to store first the path. So from path is the circle path layer dot path, and the line width is from line width equals the circle path layer dot line width. And now we want to store those in a CA transaction, so they don't jump from whatever the current value is. So you say CA transaction dot begin. So we begin the CA transaction. We also want to set to disable any actions to implicit animate any other layers. So for that you'll say cat transaction dot set value, and the object that we want to say key cf boolean true for the key path of the keys cat disable actions transaction disable actions. So then we want to increase the line width to make it thicker, so the circle goes inwards, and also we want to give it the two path that we created above. So circle path layer dot line width is 2 times the final radius, and the circle path layer dot path is the 2 path that we created above. And that is all our CA transactions, so we can commit the changes. Perfect. Now we just need to create 2 basic animations for the expansion of the circle and the line width, and then we're gonna put those animations in a CA animation group. So let's go and create first the animation for the line width. So line width animation, and this is a CA basic animation with key path line width, and you want to have line width animation dot from value, this is from line width, and line width animation dot to value 2 times the radius inset, actually not the final radius, I'm sorry. All right, and then we want to have the path animation equals CA basic animation for key path path, and this path animation dot from value is from path, and path animation dot to value to path. Perfect. And now we want to add those animations to a CA animation group. So let group animation equals CA animation group, and group animation dot duration equals 1. We want it to be 1 second, or you can improve that to put it faster or slower, however you want. And also we want to have a timing function, which is a CA media timing function, and that that has a name, and the name is already written for a key CA media transaction is in and is out. Yeah, this one. We want to is in and is out, and the animations that we want to add are animations, the line width animation. Actually, we want first the path animation, and then the line width animation, and then we want the group animation to have a delegate of self, but this will need in a bit. So right now I'm just gonna comment this out, and I'll show you why we need this in a bit. And then we want to add those animations to our circle path layer. So just that add animation, and this is the group animation for string stroke width. So perfect. Now we added the animations to our circle path, and what is left to do is go to our custom image view and update the progress value, and also when the image is downloaded, we can reveal the image. So let's go and do that. Now that we added all those in here, we can say our download progress. We want to dispatch main queue, dispatch queue, dot main and async, and in here we want to say, oh, I'm sorry, we need to have let progress actually loading view, and this is a circular loading view. We want to create this one with a frame of cgrect.0, 0 frame. And now that we have this, we want to say self.loadingView.progress equals to a CG float of the progress dot fraction completed. All right, so now this will improve the progress with depending on how much we've downloaded the image. And since we've downloaded the image here, we want to say self.image equals the image that we created in the if statement right here. And we also want to say self.loadingView.reveal. All right, now let's run this and see if everything runs fine. So this is our simulator. I'm gonna make it extra large for you guys. So apparently we can see this downloading, but we don't see the actual loading view. So why we don't see the actual loading view? Let's go and find out. The reason we don't see it because we haven't added it to our view. So basically in here, when we set the image, we want to add as a subview the loading view. Now we created the loading view, but we haven't added it to a view hierarchy. So let's add it, and we want to also say loading view dot frame to be where the image view is, so it will get the center of it. And also we want to say loading dot auto resizing mask to be flexible width and height for whenever the sizes change. So now that we added it to the view, we should be able to see it in our simulator spinning and revealing our image. So yeah, you can see it started loading, and we are right now in 25%, and it keeps going. I chose a large image so you can see, guys, the animation going slower than instantly downloading a small image. So this is an 8K image or something. So now we are almost done. We are now on 100%, and the animation is right there. Oops, what happened here? Well, basically, after we did the animation, the mask of this view still remains. So you can see just now the sides, because that is how much the circle expanded. And the way you can fix this, if you go to the loading view, here where we commented out the delegate, basically we will need to convert to this delegate. So if you go up in here and you add the delegate of a UI CA animation delegate, you have this animation did stop from that delegate, and you simply want to say superview.layer.mask equals nil. You want to remove any masks after the view has finished animating. So let's go and see all this again and make sure that everything is fine this time. So we're downloading now, 40%, keeps going slowly. I also have slow internet, I'm sorry about that. And here we go, 100%, and the image appears with the animation. And that was it. I hope it wasn't too complicated, guys. If you have any questions, just let me know in the comment section below. Go ahead and implement this into your code if you like it. It's very simple. You can find the project in the GitHub in the description below. And that was it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe for more videos like this. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.